Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Real quick, I have a small video for you. It finally happened. Alex Laferriere has finally signed with the LA Kings, and it is a 3-year, $4.1 million average annual value. I already said it, right? I already had the projected lineups already back when the free agency opened up, and I knew that he was going to sign. There was a no-brainer that he was probably going to stay, except for the fact that it's worth a 4.1 for the next 3 years. Me personally, I have no problem with Laferriere as a player. My issue is the contract to his ability. I don't agree with the 4 mil. 3 mil maximum, because we are not getting enough scoring from someone like him who has played throughout the entire lineup, top 9. And if he doesn't pitch in more going into his next, into his future, his next steps in the NHL, then of course this is just going to be wasted money. And when Kopitar retires, most likely after the season is over, because at least that's what the speculation is, that little bit of extra money could have gone into someone else that we could sign for a bigger contract. But unfortunately, now that that one extra mil, 1.1 mil, is going to Laferriere's contract, and it's not, to me, it's not good. He's not worth 4 mil, 3 mil maximum. He's just not good enough to be that good, big of a contract. But who knows? He's still developing. Maybe I'm wrong. But me personally, in the past 2 years that we've seen him play, first his rookie season, he didn't exactly impress me. And then, of course, last year he didn't exactly step up too much. A little bit, but not much. And that's a little unfortunate for me. So, that's just my opinion, though. Everyone else seems to like him. And I don't deny that he is, a decent two-way forward, for sure. But if he wants to remain in the NHL, first of all, has nothing to do with the Kings. If he wants to remain in the NHL as an NHL player, he has to step up his game. Otherwise, he won't even make it past this contract. But yeah, with that being said and done, we now have pretty much our entire roster, our projected roster, I should say, for the opening night. And you guys can see it now on the screen. And that is exactly what we are looking at. As you guys can see, we have, the same old. We have Kuzmenko with Kopitar and Kempe, of course. And then we have second line, Fiala, Byfield, and Laferriere, just like they finished at the end of the season. Now, granted, it wasn't the best chemistry, but I am holding out hope that now that they've played together, they will have the chemistry they need to progress through a whole season and not just the end of the season / going into the playoffs. So that is my hope for that line. Third line, typical Danault, Moore, and Foegele. Again, just like the past 2 years, Danault and Moore, those two have to step up. They're not just third liners. They were the second line. They need to step up. They need to be, more specifically, he needs to be a 20-goal scorer. Danault could be a 20-goal scorer if he tried harder. And Foegele, fantastic. I loved how he performed, and I hope he continues to do exactly that. So if that third line could come around, we have a strong top 9 as far as balance. I would say none of these lines are exactly like top tier NHL lines by any means, but top 9 forwards having very balanced lineup throughout. Pretty much you could put any one of these lines out, and it could go up against any of the opponent's top lines, bottom lines, middle lines. It doesn't matter. That's how balanced the Kings are, and I think that's a pretty good setup for us, the way we play. So hopefully that works out. And then, of course, the fourth line with Corey Perry joining the team with Joe Armia and Samuel Hellenius. At least this is my projected lineup. Those guys are all pretty big bodies who can play physical and hopefully, put on some scoring touch. I'm looking to Corey Perry specifically. Front net presence is one of the Kings' weakest points, and if he can just go right to the front net, let Hellenius and Armia grind it out along the boards and, get to the D, get the shots on net, get the tips, get the rebounds, get the greasy goals, get in the goalies' faces. That is something that the Kings have been missing for so many years now, and I'm hoping that this will pay dividends with Corey Perry. Again, to me, he is going to be one of my X Factor players coming into the season. If he performs as well as he has in his career, as a front net guy, oh my God, the Kings will definitely show up to work and be one of the top teams in the NHL. D pairs, obviously, same thing as before. Mike Anderson with Drew Doughty. There's no surprise there. Now that Doughty is healthy, cross our fingers he doesn't get hurt in preseason again. And then, of course, Brian Dumoulin with Cody Ceci as the two new signings who are going to most likely be paired up together because Edmondson and Clark on the third pair have played together and they have chemistry as well. Now, this is where I'm a little conflicted. Now, I personally didn't care for Gavrikov. You guys who have watched my channel know that. But I am praying that if Ceci, specifically Ceci, if he can play to a level in which can provide a little bit of offense. We're talking like 10 goals, maybe less. 8, 9, 10 goals, 10-goal season. And pitch in on the scoring a little bit here and there with assists. Then fantastic, because the offense needs to be there from the blue line. Dumoulin, New Jersey Devils, they claim that Dumoulin was literally one of their best, if not their best defenseman in the playoffs. If that is how he performed and that is what we are expecting to get out of him, then I'm all on board for it. But again, I personally don't watch him. I don't really know anything about him. Therefore, I cannot say for certainty that he will be able to perform to that level. However, I am hoping that it will pay dividends if that is the case. And no, I'm not expecting him to score as much, obviously, because I think he's supposed to be a defensive style. But either way, I think each line with a defensive style D, specifically the left lefties, Mikey, Dumoulin, and Edmondson, and then of course the right side with more offense, Doughty, Ceci, and Clark. So I'm hoping that this will be a recipe for success. At least then we can always have one defenseman kind of hold back, stay back, play D, even if it is an odd man rush, and then the other defenseman can pinch in if needed whenever possible. Goaltenders, obviously Kemper is going to be our starter. There's no surprise there whatsoever. He was actually top 3 in the league. He was voted as one of the top 3 for the Vezina, so no surprise there that he is going to be our starter, and we have kept him. And honestly, I'm expecting to be another top goalie in the league again this year as well. Anton Forsberg got signed. I'm not on board with this signing at all. We have Phoenix Copley, so there's no reason to have Forsberg come on. And I believe it was for a couple of years, right? So a waste of money as well right there. But then as you guys can see on the right side of the screen, scratches, Turcotte, Burrows, and Copley. Now Copley obviously is a placeholder. There's a lot of extra guys that were still on the lineup, the roster I should say, that, I believe have to pass waivers, or we're probably going to trade them or drop them, or, they're going to make the team. Obviously, Copley is most likely going to start in the AHL due to Forsberg signing. So we'll most likely have Turcotte as a scratch, because, the Kings love to have Turcotte, even though I think they should get rid of him. Kyle Burrows, obviously no one wants Kyle Burrows, so he's going to be stuck on our team as well as the 7th D. But then the final spot, obviously you most likely want a forward, so I'm thinking either Jeff Malott, who played actually pretty good as far as what I saw, or I believe Akil Thomas is still with us as well, so we'll see. There's, like I said, there's quite other people as well. Jacob Moverari, for example, is another guy who I don't think he can go down to the AHL this year, so he will have to pass waivers, and most likely, in my opinion, he'll probably be gone. The Kings are probably going to have to let him go, and unfortunately, he didn't get the ice time he needs to be an AHL player, to be honest. Even, once he goes away from the Kings, I really don't see him continuing his NHL career. It's just not there. But that's just my opinion. And I think, overall, I think he's a great guy. But, if you don't step up to that next level as an NHL player, you're just going to miss out. And that's exactly what I think, like, for example, I mentioned earlier, Alex Laferriere is in that situation. Is he going to continue to perform at a decent two-way level? Because as of right now, I consider him straight up a bottom six forward, maybe even a fourth liner by the end of his contract. Like, if he doesn't improve, he's not going to go anywhere. No one's going to want him. But that's just my opinion. I mean, if you really think about it, Alex Iafallo, who we had before, he played on the top line with Brownie and Kopi. He performed fantastically as a two-way forward, and the Winnipeg Jets have him on their fourth line. If that's the standard in which is, a fourth liner in the league right now, there's no way Laferriere is going to go any higher, because Iafallo is technically a better player than Laferriere, in my opinion, of course. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people will agree with me that much better PKer, much better skater, and I think in the end, at the end of the day, if these players don't perform, they're not going to stay around much longer. But in any case, just to wrap this up, you guys, like I said, saw the lineup. We're going to be in it for the long haul. Quite a few of these guys' contracts are going to be around for our next few years. But the biggest question mark is obviously Anze Kopitar. Is he going to retire after the season? Who knows? That's not even on his mind right now. It's all about this season. If this truly is the final rush, then let's go win a Stanley Cup for him and Doughty as well. But that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to throw that out there, this lineup out there, now that Laferriere has finally signed. But again, like I mentioned before, we pretty much got the lineup already figured out even before he signed. So it was kind of a no-brainer that this was the way it was going to be. Especially since after my free agency video, I did go over a projected lineup in there without a actual visual for you guys. But here you guys go. Here it is. And yeah, that's just my opinions on the lineup. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, though. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm wrong? I think I'm pretty correct as far as the lineup is concerned, as well as, how each line or players will perform going into the season. I think we've seen enough from all the guys here right now to know what their role is, what they're going to do, and how much they're going to perform. Now it's up to the new guys to come in and finish the mold that we've built up, this fortress of, strong two-way type players, and, be able to provide some offense here and there, defense as well, and let's go win a Stanley Cup. But I digress now. That's it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this little breakdown, the little projected lineup. Comment down below, like I said, if you guys agree or disagree. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more King stuff coming up. It is now August. Preseason's right around the corner. It's amazing how fast time flies. But we're going to get right back into hockey, and I can't wait. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.